AOC. What? She's kind of fun in a silly but earnest, wrong but adorable way. She's like your daughter when she comes back from her first year at Brown, full of half-baked, half opinions, in need of some gentle, patient deprogramming. But people have to realize new faces doesn't mean new ideas. Drives me crazy. AOC has never introduced a fresh idea.
More and more I'm seeing people on the right offering like some praise for her, like, oh, don't count out AOC. And she's a fighter because she seems to have some of the same base as Trump, people who want an outsider. Wake up, people. Wake up. She was 100% on the side of Jordan Neely here, throwing out all the racism accusations and all that her woke identity politics playbook. She is no friend to reason. So stop, okay? Just stop. The praise of AOC has to end from anybody who wants justice, wants reason, wants sanity to prevail, and isn't on the side of woke.
Just when AOC thought her latest hot take would set Twitter on fire with applause and emojis, Greg Gutfeld and Megyn Kelly crashed the party armed with sarcasm and zero chill. Gutfeld roasted her like it was open mic night on Capitol Hill, while Kelly dismantled her logic with the precision of someone assembling IKEA furniture without instructions. Meanwhile, AOC found herself tangled in a word salad. Hold the dressing. So what did they say that turned her viral moment into a verbal demolition? Let's just sit was pettier than Congress in a group chat.
Drives me crazy. AOC has never introduced a fresh idea or issue in her life. The reason why she gets along with Bernie is because she's like an 80-year-old leftist in a used bookstore. I mean, she may look fresh, but she's as stale as an abandoned futon on the street. It's like, I listen to her, I go, I heard that at Berkeley in 1980.
AOC just wandered into another intellectual buzzsaw, proudly wearing a tax the rich tee and sipping a $14 oat milk latte, as she tried to explain economics with the confidence of a kid who just discovered the calculator app. But this time, it wasn't a debate, it was a full-on, unprovoked public combustion. Gutfeld and Kelly didn't even have to raise their voices. They simply lit the match and watched the Green New Deal melt like biodegradable Jell-O under a tanning lamp.
Check in on AOC and see what she has to say.
Any quick reaction on what's going on with Elon Musk and President Trump on Twitter right now?
Oh man, the girls are fighting, aren't they? I think this breakup we've been seeing a long time coming, but we'll see what the impacts are of it legislatively.
Okay. You're so cool referring to them as the girls. She's above it all, Ben. That's what she's trying to telegraph. You see, she's the adult in the room, the one out there who does a preacher accent, and she leans into her fake Latina accent. And she's the adult.
Let's be crystal clear. This wasn't a debate, a dialogue, or even a round table. It was more like someone showing up to a flamethrower fight with a spoon. Somewhere near a Whole Foods in D.C., Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez opened her mouth. The ripple effect made its way to two people with zero patience for fantasy economics, and even less for performative policy.
It's no surprise. Who would go see a movie that's the opposite of entertaining? There's nothing entertaining about that. Michael Moore's colonoscopy is more entertaining than that because there's probably more twists. But it does show you how great it is to be a progressive in a liberal biased culture. She really doesn't do her job, right? She makes movies, she goes to galas, she sits for glossy butt-kissing interviews in GQ and other women's mags. Once you get over to the fact that you're hollow inside, it's not about...
Greg Gutfeld, wielding all the subtlety of a chainsaw in a library, took one look at AOC's latest idea and gave it the same respect most people give expired coupons. Megyn Kelly came prepared with sarcasm, receipts, and the energy of someone who's been saving up clapbacks for every TikTok level, take masquerading as a moral crusade.
So their problem is, and the reason why they don't have any ideas is they operate on half opinions. Like, what if we get rid of cash bail? Oh, let's do it. What happens? You have repeat criminals wreaking havoc. What if we have sanctuary cities? Hey, let's do it. What happens? You have rapists and killers, finding sanctuary, safe haven. What if we give trans rights that we don't have? Well, you just ruin women's sports, you ruin safe spaces, you make kids' lives hell, but they never think about what their ideas incentivize. That would be nice. So where are their ideas gonna come from?
It all started when AOC decided it was the perfect moment to redefine success in America by eliminating it. Her newest proposal didn't read like a serious policy so much as a Tumblr post from 2011. overloaded with hashtags and light on logic. In her version of utopia, the economy would be better off if the government ran it like a non-profit yoga studio. Forget incentives, competition, or innovation. AOC's dream is a national group project where no one does the work, but everyone still gets.
Read a little bit of the New York Times review, and Teo, he thinks that the hopelessness of the movie makes it a hard sell for people who would go see the movie, and also for voters to change their minds about climate change. But they said for AOC that she offers the best on-screen antidote to despair because she's funny. A canny political strategy. But they don't like it if conservatives are funny. Yeah. Right? It's only
that's
helpful
mean.
There. Right?
If a conservative is funny, that's mean. You're
right.
mean.
You're mean.
Gutfeld examined AOC's economic ideas the way a physicist might look at a photother's PowerPoint, more fascinated than angry, as if wondering how someone could speak so confidently while being so fundamentally off base. The only plausible answer: AOC must live in a pocket universe where rent is paid with feelings and inflation is a billionaire-invented social construct designed to harsh your vibe. Megyn Kelly didn't just criticize AOC, she slow-roasted her, fueled by decades of real-world experience and a steady diet of Harvard Business Review. She didn't raise her voice. She didn't need to. Her approach was the verbal equivalent of calmly setting down a glass of wine, adjusting her blazer, and dismantling every ounce of AOC's credibility with surgical precision. The beauty: neither Gutfeld nor Kelly had to respond directly. They simply held up a mirror, and AOC's logic self-immolated on contact.
Performance from AOC, who decided to go to the Bronx and pretend she was Cardi B.
Are you ready to fight? Are you ready to take this battle back? Are you ready to win on this back?
You're not Cardi B, you're not Muhammad Ali, you're a congressional Kardashian.
Take her climate plan, for example, the infamous Green New Deal, or as critics call it, the Great American Dream Killer. It isn't so much a policy as it is a Pinterest board of idealistic hallucinations. AOC wants to eliminate fossil fuels, while promising free healthcare, housing, and high-paying jobs even for those unwilling to work. That's not policy, it's a ransom note, written in glitter pen by someone who thinks monopoly money is legal tender. Gutfeld didn't even need a speech. He simply pointed to the part banning air travel and held up a map of the US, then asked, "Where's that bullet train from LA to Honolulu, Alex?" Meanwhile, Megyn Kelly calmly reminded everyone that you can't run a first-world economy on Instagram, infographics, and vibes. Socialism doesn't fail because people don't believe hard enough, it fails because money doesn't multiply through redistribution. That's not economics. That's a yard sale.
This is the reason why you can't even compromise with temporary solutions. Because even if you give a temporary solution to a lefty, they're going to make it permanent. There's no such thing as temporary, whether it was mail-in ballots, or it's the moratorium. You give them and they go, oh yeah, sure, and we'll get back to normal. No, they won't. Moratorium, they don't even know what that means. And we don't actually, I have to say, we don't talk about her at all. We talk about the stories, and we're always very, very respectful. I think she's incredibly talented, but she hasn't lived enough to be that arrogant in her way.
But AOC keeps insisting that every billionaire is a fire-breathing dragon hoarding gold, and the only thing standing between us and utopia is political will. No mention of market dynamics, no grasp of debt or deficit, just blind faith in the IRS developing 6 new arms and a thirst for vengeance. Gutfeld nearly choked on his sarcasm when she proposed another tax throughage program, the go-to solution for people who think the Laffer curve is a ride at Disney World. His rebuttal was simple: if high taxes fixed everything, California would be a socialist paradise, not a flaming dumpster wrapped in avocado toast. But AOC thinks opposition to her plans isn't about economics, history, or reason. It's about sexism, racism, or whatever deflection fits that day. When your policies are as stable as a Jenga tower in an earthquake, it's easier to blame the critics than admit the blueprint was drawn in crayon.
Last week before the inauguration, AOC saying, I'm not going to the inauguration because I don't support rapists. That is a defamatory statement. She didn't make clear that's opinion. She said it as though it were a matter of fact. It isn't. And I really think he should give some serious thought to suing her. She wasn't on the legislative floor. She was sitting in her apartment doing a little Instagram. You can't get away with that. A term like he's a rapist or he's committing potential treason in working with the Russians, like news organizations have just, and politicians for that matter, given up all the guardrails that we used to.
Megyn Kelly didn't bother humoring the deflections. She ran AOC's ideological playbook through a shredder labeled reality. Kelly pointed out that AOC has spent more time branding herself than understanding the institution she's part of. This is the same congresswoman who predicted the end of the world in 12 years, danced on TikTok, and then blamed capitalism for the weather. Now, she's back with a moral economy built on vibes, loan cancellations, and a suspicious number of task forces. Gutfeld just laughed. Because if your answer to every problem is more government, you're not a policymaker, you're writing a sitcom no one wants to watch. And AOC's crusade against cow flatulence. Gutfeld asked if she planned to install carbon filters on every cow. Unironically, she might. Kelly followed by wondering aloud if AOC sees the Constitution as a loose suggestion, like serving sizes on a bag of chips. Her worldview, a BuzzFeed quiz with Marxist slogans and latte art.
I heard that AOC, among others, were arrested last night. She truly is an American hero. It was brutal, taken out in cuffs. Well, technically, her shirt had cuffs. Maybe French cuffs, as she did surrender without fighting. But if her pants had cuffs, she would have pretended to be in leg irons too. But real handcuffs, not so much. But that didn't stop her from pretending. And I hate it when people do this to me. When I ask people to put on handcuffs and they say, I'll just pretend I have them on, I'd be like, sure, and I'll pretend to pay you.
Gutfeld called her economics performance art with subtitles. Generous, really. AOC's strategy is simple. 1. Find the worst idea in history. 2. Rebrand it in pastels. 3. Blame white men when it flops. Megyn Kelly, ever the calm executioner, noted that AOC substitutes emotion for expertise, caring deeply without solving anything, like a toddler in a cabinet meeting. Gutfeld compared her political career to a pop-up shop. All attention, no substance, vanishing the moment accountability shows up. Watching her pitch trillion-dollar plans with drunken confidence is, as he put it, the best argument for term limits. AOC says she speaks for the working class, yet her solutions always sound like they came from an NYU freshmen's group project. Kelly tore through that illusion like a buzzsaw through pay match. Real reformers don't self-brand in Vogue while playing victim. AOC wants a revolution, but only if it's sponsored by Glossier and wrapped in compostable packaging.
Radical left, who's gone beyond all the identity issues. I mean, don't get me wrong. The person I'm going to show you is 100% wrapped in all of them, but like genuinely believes the Hitler fascist stuff. Like is distraught because they really think Hitler just got reelected. Most of them were just pretending, but then there are the ones who genuinely believe it, like AOC.
We are about to enter a political period that will have consequences for the rest of our lives. Donald Trump has talked about turning the military on U.S. citizens that he deems his domestic political enemies. Authoritarians and people that he affiliates closely with and strongmen abroad. In regimes like that, it is not uncommon to jail political dissidents or legislative opponents.
One of the most prominent Democrats.
Gutfeld nailed it. AOC isn't dangerous because she has power, she's dangerous because people pretend she does. While she treats Capitol Hill like a reality show, adults are left cleaning up the glitter bomb she sets off every time she grabs a mic. And the best part, Gutfeld and Kelly didn't have to get personal. They just quoted her, and that was enough. AOC doesn't need a roast. She brings her own lighter fluid. Her political career is basically a TED Talk by someone who just discovered Wikipedia. Passionate, sure. Coherent, not remotely. Gutfeld joked about buying her economics for dummies, and Kelly added, make it a box set, she need 1 volume. Her policy disaster dreamt up between her last brunch photo and next Wi-Fi meltdown about capitalism.
Talking, there when I'm picturing AOC lecturing us about our hamburgers, how we can't have them anymore, and we can't have heat in our homes. We can't have SUVs, and we can't, now the left wants us, we have to get rid of our gas stoves. It's a no. And so, they are very punitive. They want to control the way we live, of course, from their own private jets and mansions, which are, they're gas guzzling and energy guzzling by the minute. And he's feeling it. But I think this one goes beyond just the squad or leftist.
AOC's political strategy is like watching a toddler try to pilot a Boeing 747 with finger paints and unchecked optimism. She hurls buzzwords like confetti, crafting dramatic narratives that sound profound until you actually read them. Under the glitter, nothing. Megyn Kelly didn't flinch. She dissected each flimsy proposal with calm precision, exposing the empty calories beneath AOC's slogans. Gutfeld didn't bother with subtlety. He used ridicule like a flamethrower, pointing out the absurdity of someone raging against capitalism while thriving within it. AOC's newest proposal: nationalize what she doesn't understand. Pretend economic literacy is optional. And somehow, her followers eat it up like it's gospel. But Kelly and Gutfeld aren't having it. Slogans aren't solutions. Emotion isn't evidence, and curated live streams aren't leadership. Strip away the filters and hashtags, and what's left is a shaky cocktail of outdated ideology mixed with dangerous confidence. But AOC marches on because when facts fail, there's always another clip, another filter, another applause-filled echo chamber.